Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first. Network.
Man, this thing is just keeping going. I stopped the video. This is crazy. Oh, there we go. Finally. Woo! We got Buddy Conquito has made it in. And we got the craziest loop going on. Don't get it. Women are welcome? Of course they are.
Women are always welcome. What does kneecap biting even mean? I don't even know.
What does kneecap biting even mean? You have to watch Dan Campbell's initial presser. I'm going to have to leave and hop out. The reason it's looping. I'll be right back, boys.
All right. We'll keep it warm for you.
Hey, okay.
So how's everybody doing?
Doing good, doing good. You know, feeling
Chicken
good, feeling great.
King.
Yeah.
What's going on, Chicken Nugget King? You all right?
Hey, not much, man. Feeling good, feeling great. It's good to be back on the show. And man, it feels great to have Lions football back, and we get to talk about how far this season is going. How far this team can go this season. I don't want to mix up words, but yeah, how far we can go.
That's right. Because we're going all the way.
I mean, I see it. If you see it, then you believe it. You know.
We're gonna create a Super Bowl song.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, here's a question for you. What's the best chicken nugget dipping sauce?
Hey, barbecue sauce all day, every day.
I don't know. Oh my goodness.
Say that again there.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Mr. Ken? It's good to see, it's good to be back. Long time no see, for sure.
This is crazy. I don't know what's going on with the sound. It just keeps looping back.
Huh.
Hey, how you doing?
We are experiencing technical difficulties.
Yes.
Please stand by.
Crazy. I don't know what's going on. Did you guys hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. I can hear
you. I can hear you.
You can hear us, right?
Yeah, I hear everybody.
Yeah.
I hope you stop doing that loop thing.
Hey, Oli.
Hello.
What's going on, Yoli? And Papa Ken in the house.
Papa Smoke.
Papa Smoke. Yep. Orlando, so we can hear you.
Okay. So, day 3, they did the in the pit drills. We had the offensive line winning it overall. Technology can't work with it, can't work without it. Absolutely right.
That's absolutely a fact.
Still with us, JB?
I'm still here. I'm trying to get this to stop. I'm trying to get this to stop. But we had
Ooh, is
the
that
Oline
again?
and Dline, a few keynotes. Houston got owned by Manu after 2 draws. Paschal got owned by Duke Clemons, a UDFA. Sorsdal did well after 2 draws versus Newcomer.
Newcomer Ike Boetger beat down Levi
Yep.
and had a draw with Comiskey.
And then Nate Lynn smoked Skipper. And the O-line won the drill overall. It's about time. Yoli
You
Cruz in the
know,
top Packer fan from Huddle Sports Network. I love the fact she comes in and watches us.
She's making cookies. What kind of cookies you making, Yoli? I go with some chocolate chip ones right now. But this is just the beginning. Um, I mean, Levi is going to be put in some very bad positions because I really don't think he's going to be here come
I agree.
start of the season.
I think it's coming down to Levi and Comiskey.
Yeah,
I think he gets another chance only because last year I guess we found out how significant that injury was, but for him to just be back in pads and or just out there period and moving around and being mobile instead of being like a vegetable, I got to give him props. I'm sure he's been in the weight room. I'm sure he's been doing the running and stretching and that whole nine. And again, I keep bringing up the medical staff. I think we got a competent one. I think they're finally able to diagnose these guys and give them the treatment that they need in order to get them back out on the field. So I think he's got a grace period, much like Mosley had last year and Jamo. And I get it. It's been 3 years with him kind of on the roster, but if he has the impact that they think he does and that he had in college, we're going to need him on that D line.
well, that D line's, you got to realize something too. That D line's stuffed right now, and they can get rid of a couple of people, especially if they want to do a certain way on the roster cuts. If they keep 53 people on the roster, that means that they're going to have to decide where they're going to keep people at. Do they want to carry 4 or 5 running backs? Do they want to carry 4 or 5 tight ends? Do they want to carry 4 or 5 receivers? Defensive line has got a lot to do with that. These guys got to start handling their water, and the ones that are at the end of their cut, it depends. Like I said, it just depends on how the staff wants to go with the players.
Wow.
well, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. Thriller, I really agree. I think Levi is definitely going to be good as gone, in my opinion. And I think there's going to be some guys that's going to step up and take care of his place and make sure that we make sure we got players that can play at the helm and make sure that they can play up to their speed on the defensive line. We got guys that can really thrive and flourish, but at the same time, it's not just having him gone. It's just the next man up who can step up, who can make the right play, who can make the coaches earn their trust. My mic's muted.
Look back on.
All right.
I was trying to figure out where the echo's coming from, and I can't find it. I've even tried muting myself.
Oh,
What's up, Will? We see you up there, buddy.
Yep. Hello, Will. Glad to see you chimed in from work. Hopefully, by muting everybody once and coming back, maybe this gets. Nope.
We are experiencing real technical difficulties.
Yeah, it seemed to be a struggle.
We're gonna get through it though. What's up,
Mhm.
RX?
What's going on? What's going on?
All right. So RX in the chat. Orlando Esprobano Jr. Smoking Dad. Will Coley. Cruz. We got a lit chat tonight. I was gonna do the meme thing because this is FYF practically. You know what FYF means? Drop it. That's the only one I'm allowed to do. It's your Beacon Friday. The only good team I got.
Uh-oh. We got breaking news.
And then of course
Hey. Speaking of the Packers,
Jordan Love got his deal.
Jordan Love got his deal. $220 million for 4 years.
Wow.
$55 million right up there with Tua, Burrow, and now Love.
He's over Tua.
55. 4 times.
Well,
And Tua got like what, 53 mil a year?
Yeah. Well,
Crazy.
Yeah, so
okay, Orlando.
it's time to make Love. It's time to break his heart. It's time to sweep those guys this year. Once again, it's time to. I look forward to those games now even more. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we softened up the Dallas Cowgirls last year, and they came in there and ate. If I'm being honest, you know what I mean? They came in and ate. It's like almost like Dallas was still licking the rooms from when they played us. You know, and I just feel like, you know, he's overrated to me right now, man. I got to see more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh God! By the time this year season ends, Goff won't be probably in the top 10 because there's a couple other quarterbacks that have to be paid. Dak being one of them. So you know, it's nuts. And I agree with you, RXJ. I don't know where everybody thinks Dallas is going to be up there. I've just seen people say Dallas is going to win the division. I just find that highly impossible right now.
Yeah,
Dallas ain't got it in them. They don't got that dog in them.
They don't have that grit.
They're still waiting on one of their star receivers to. He looks like he's pouting too. Yeah, so.
Yeah, they got to play Micah. They got to play Dak. They got to pay CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah,
I was just gonna mention him, CeeDee Lamb. That's CeeDee Lamb. Ain't he holding out?
Yeah,
Something like that. Like what? Can't be doing all that. That's a distraction right there now.
So the top 5 month.
Who they got? Who you got?
What was that, JP? I'm sorry. Top 5.
Okay.
Top 5 quarterbacks get paid.
Love, Burrow, and T-Law at the top at $55 million. Tua and Goff at 53. That's the breakdown. Average per year. So yeah, he's still top 5. But technically, the most overpaid quarterback this year is getting $55 million as a cap hit. Is
And just think what the contract will be for Dak. Wherever he goes, somebody's got to pay him.
about that? I write the Diva watches on, and it was over by 9 p.m.
Right. NFL might be closed, but the Green Bay Packers are still open.
That they are. That they are.
Moonscar in the chat.
What's going on, Moonstar? What's up?
So what else we got, JB? What else we have from training camp today, buddy?
Yep. So now that's over. So bring that up Diva watch is over. But
Diva watch is over.
we had
I was marked safe from Diva Watch 2024.
Mahogany, Jamo, and Brian Brandt were out. Mahogany, Jamo, and Brian Branch were out. Jamo and Branch is due to a family issue. Mahogany's out with an issue. But Marcus Davenport is practicing, but he is not participating in drills yet. He's still recovering. He's working out with the strength and conditioning people. Yes, the contract is about what's actually guaranteed. You're absolutely right, Guard. But the Diva Watch is done. Diva Watch 2024 is over. UDFA DaRon Gilbert shined at the Sam position today, standing up Zonovan Knight. DPJ is back practicing already too, Richard. But he also contributed a sack in the 7-on-7 today. So he is one of the lesser guys that got brought up and doing really well today. This is the UDFA.
What team
I think that's good news. That's some good news. Because UDFAs can sneak up on you and play well.
Well, they got grit, they win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bates did exceptionally well today.
Yeah, they said Bates didn't miss again today. It is.
Unfortunately, Badgley, had to go out.
Felt bad for Badgley, you know.
Effing Diva. Bears, oh my. Well, the Bears haven't been much of a diva since because we already knew Rome was signing day one. We didn't know about Caleb, but that got some day one at training camp too. So that ended just as quick as it started.
Yeah.
That's the other one. Badgley had a season-ending injury. I still don't know exactly what it is. They haven't disclosed it yet. I'm quite sure they're waiting to see what the MRI and everything discloses on if he needs surgery or not.
Yeah, I know it had something to do with his ankle. Yeah. He got that hurt in practice Thursday. So we'll find out what happened in detail later, I'm sure. But it had to do something with his ankle, so.
It's a shame. I mean, but we all were wondering if he was going to beat out Bates or not. That's one thing we were all wondering. If Bates had that great run of 14 for 14 at Ford Field with the Panthers.
Well, from what they say from Badgley being out, they are going to get promote some more kickers so they can give Bates some competition or see if they can, like I said, Bates is kicking in some friendly territory. I put it to you this way. You know my feelings about Bates, the whole situation with him. So
Moonscar,
hamstring might be, yeah.
They thought it was a hamstring, but they said today something about his ankle. Nothing's been disclosed yet, so they don't know the exact injury.
It's all connected to the leg. So there's no kicking. There's no
bones
kicking
connected
whatsoever.
to the leg bone and the leg bone.
That's all.
And one thing I'm very fortunate about is I think that with Badgley being out, I think that Bates is going to step in and continue his streak because he's a very streaky kicker, and he can really knock down some points for us. We need 3 points. We need that so we could take advantage of the points in the game. Offensively, it's okay to get sixes. It's okay to put them sixes up, but you need threes. You need those field goals to be consistent.
We'll see. What's up, Tori?
Tori.
Detroit fan report.
And James is in the house.
James Bird, it's time to get Boomer Bates some reps versus the defense. Absolutely.
Boom.
And that all starts next week. That's when we put the pads on. That's when the helmet.
Hey, going 6 for 6 is beautiful though. Going 6 for 6 is beautiful in training camp though, and you hitting a 53-yarder. Yeah, you got this one. You got this on lock. You definitely gonna start. You're gonna be the starting kicker for sure.
You look at the free agents that are out there. The only one that might be able to push him, and he doesn't have the leggy. Rob Gold.
Well, the person that could have pushed him was the Michigan guy, but Green Bay snatched him up. So that's a guy that could have pushed him.
But when we
I had more faith in him. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is. I you know what I'm saying? I
think semi-pro over college.
It's well, no, that's not for these two kickers that were here. No, because you got to look at it like this. Bates hadn't kicked even in college, so we can eliminate that. And the other guy was a college player, so you can actually compare both the semi-pro and the college. He plays outdoors too. The Michigan kicker was playing outdoors too. That's something Bates hasn't done. So, and he's not really good outdoors. But like I said, whatever. It is what it is. So anyway, also there was a couple of skirmishes today. One with linebacker Derek Barnes and tight end Brock Wright were locked up after a play. They had to be separated by their teammates. Then my little guy, Craig Reynolds, and defensive tackle Levi O were pushing on each other after a play near the goal line. And Reynolds pushed the ball right into O's face mask and said, "Get out of my face. I have a ball for it." So look at it, and he's Levi's 6'3", 290. Reynolds is 5'11", 216. So
they better not let that little guy push him around like that.
I tell you, it's going to be rough. I don't know if they're going to keep five running backs, but if they do, that would be great. Because a lot of people are saying that Craig Reynolds will be the out guy, and I don't think so. That dude's got grit. I mean, I would keep him on our roster just for the block he threw last year for Amon. I just keep him on there for that.
Hey, you know the old saying, no block, no rock.
That's right. And one other note, Jahmyr Gibbs has learned to play on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be a scary thought for defenses.
There you go. I think that's going to open up. He's working out more with Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra's teaching him his wide receiver routes.
This one done. They're going to split the first team reps eventually. They have to see who rises to the top.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, man. A running back that can catch. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nasty work for me. I think it's going to make us feel better down the line with Jahmyr Gibbs catching out the backfield because he's going to be solid, so solid when he gets to the receiving.
And that's what they said Baki has been doing, Reynolds has been doing. They've all been occasionally that.
Mm-hmm.
More jugs machines. Get all them boys out there, man.
And they do them right after practice.
Yeah.
That's what they've been doing.
Fourth fastest guy on the roster right now on offense. If I remember right, he's fourth.
Who's that?
Leave. Oh no, he's third because now Reynolds isn't here. It's Leaf, Gibbs, and then now PJ after him. Correct?
Well, Reynolds is still here.
No, he's saying Josh Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds.
Josh Reynolds. Yeah. He's in Denver.
It's Amon, then it's Jamo, then it's Wiz Khalifa, and then Peoples Jones.
DPJ.
Yeah, Antoine Green.
Antoine Green. Yep. They say Antoine Green's been showing his butt too.
Good. Yeah, we need a big target downfield, man.
That's a hell of a sign. Mm-hmm. Hell of a sign that he's stepping up.
And Matthew Betts is learning to play defensive line and linebackers. He was working with both of those areas today.
Yeah, the more you can do for this team, the more out of position you can play,
Yes,
the better.
Robert Bertana, we already know the Diva watch is over. Whole 5 hours.
And we've been marked safe from Diva Watch 2024.
Yeah, so they said the early level for wide receiver 3 is Khalif and Antone. They said DPJ is a contender. I'm telling you, I just don't see DPJ being a slot. And we all know that Ben Johnson's offense goes through a different phases, obviously, because Amon can line up anywhere. But as it fits into wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, I think Jamo. I think Khalif is a little short, but that dude is fast. It'd be nice to have Antoine Green in there because what is he like 6'3", 6'4", Antone, isn't he?
I know he's over 6 feet. I don't know his specific, but yeah, he's a big body. And like you said, DPJ, another big body, another guy who was really, I felt like he was leaned on a little bit in Cleveland. And whenever his number was called, I felt like he showed up. And this is his hometown team. Like the guy lives here, he's got family here, he's got his roots here. So I think he's going to be one of those guys that I'm kind of glad is lost in the sauce, so to speak. Like everybody knows about Amon-Ra, everybody knows about Jameer and Montgomery, the O-line, but we forget, people forget he was returning kickoffs and punts for Cleveland. So this he's very versatile, and I don't think there's too many defenses he hasn't seen either, or let alone routes he hasn't ran. So I'm juiced, man. I'm juiced.
Hey, if I may, I would like to say that I see guys on. If I may, I would like to say that there's UDFA's I like to see to make the team. Even though we didn't get to that point, but I'll throw it out there. I like to see Lynn make it. I know Steel Chambers got released or whatever, and then you have DaRon Gilbert who stepped up tremendously in training camp. I think he could make it. Or guys like Lauren Strickland or Sheehan Garnes. We got some guys in the UDFA that can step up, but I think if they're not here, they're not here. They're going to be outs. But then there's guys who can be in and step up and make the roster.
Yeah, and just remember, a lot of these UDFAs are camp bodies too. They might light it up in camp just because they have to show themselves in case somebody else wants to pick them up. That's the whole point of being a UDFA. Sometimes you know you're going to be a camp body, so you might as well go out there and perform the hell out of everything, so that somebody else, if Detroit releases you, you can go to another team that might need you.
I mean,
how fun is that?
It's a lot easier for one of those UDFAs to get picked up right off the waivers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, how fun is that? Like teams are now looking at the Detroit Lions for, bodies. You know what I mean? Because they know they realize the culture here that's been established, and they realize these players are holding other players accountable. So now I've never remember that. You know what I mean? I felt like we picked up other teams' trash, in your Flowers and your Patriots. But now it's like if we release them, another team is like, we got you. You know what I mean? And I think that shows tremendous like upswing as far as where we've been at the past decade, man. I think that's cool, man.
And when you say holding players accountable, I think it's more like staying on your toes. Making sure you don't make the wrong decisions on the field or off the field.
Yeah, that off the field is we've already seen it right now.
It's
some of these
funny as
players.
undone, but we've heard absolutely nothing more on Isaiah Williams than on the
One person I haven't heard in training camp, and I'm trying to look to see if he is making any kind of a dent, is Stephen Gilmore.
I haven't heard from him since last preseason. That's long. That's like 6 months ago, maybe more than 6 months ago. Because like I haven't heard from Stephen Gilmore in a minute. And plus that's like his brother is a great Hall of Fame, future Hall of Famer too. So yeah, I haven't heard from him in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the last name fools people. Again, this is kind of right up there with Levi. I mean, we at least got some work from Levi last year, and he showed tremendous, he seemed like he'd be, one of those bodies that you would need out there. But I don't know. Gilmore, I don't know, man. To your point, Chicken Nugget, I haven't seen or heard anything from him. Not even so much as a, Instagram post or anything. So I don't know what's going on. I really hope everything's all right. I just.
Well, he's
Same.
out there. He's out there, participating in training camp and stuff like that, and training drills. But I just
He's working with the third.
I just haven't heard anything, big deal about him making any
Crickets.
plays. Yeah.
And that can
kinda
get to you,
concerning.
like you guys said earlier, man. When the competition is like this, those guys can get drowned, man. So what? Your last name's Gilmore. We got Vildor, who we just re-signed, who's out working you. You know what I'm saying? We got these guys out here who really want it.
And then not only that, he coming off of an embarrassing defensive, moment.
Yes. So gone are the days where your name will save you.
We've had people talk about how much better Jamison Williams' body looks, upper body writers wise. He added to his frame all upper body strength. I wish people would stop talking that he's frail when he weighs almost 200 pounds now versus 180.
And he's still running 4.4, 4.5.
No, they
That's a
thought he
track star,
ran a
man.
4.1 when he beat out everybody the other day.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, that's what Terry and Arnold say that. But
Yep.
he was
If he
joking.
did too, because he
ran
fell flat on his face trying to chase him down.
Well, like I said, that's it's without the pads and all that stuff. The defense wasn't really all there either. So, I mean, all you gotta do is run. If you want to make the defense look really bad, I'd be running post all day. You know what I'm saying? Because it's basic vanilla either way. So nobody's covering him. They might have been in a zone. I don't know what the hell was going on with the defense at that point, but. I mean, they still got Tom Kennedy on there, so he's still playing. I mean, he's still in practicing with them.
I'm tired of hearing this guy's name too, man. Tom Kennedy.
I mean, Tom Kennedy is a practice squad legend, to be exact.
He is.
For us.
He is. He's right up there with the kid from Sandlot with the pro wings. Like, he's right up there, man. He's always going to be one of those practice squad legends, man. Right? Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he wears a C in practice, in the practice squad. I don't think he knows.
Yeah, practice squad captain.
Yeah. I mean,
He should wear a G for general.
That too, man. Shout out to Tom Kennedy, man. All jokes. It's Friday. FYI.
Hey, Tom Kennedy for president.
Yep, there it is.
I've heard some good things about Darius Fountain too.
But I just all I've heard is Antoine Rendell and say because of that upper body strength is helping him get off the press man coverage and be able to run the right route instead of being pushed off of him, which is why you're seeing a little better chemistry. Now, once the pad goes on, and you're not doing the vanilla defenses, maybe it'll change, maybe it won't. Drop the dime to him deep, pass Terry on Arnold and Iffy, He also dropped a dime today to St. Brown in the corner by the sideline and toe drags flag St. Brown, reels it in with Hickey falling on his face.
Well,
He had to kiss himself.
that's a mine.
So pretty.
That's a mine. Come on.
I know it's a mom, but still, you got to do your job. What I thought was crazy in the video, you see Brendan Joseph trying to jump up and get it. He's got his hand up there, and he crossed his legs, bending his knees back, crossed his legs midair, and then landed right. It was the stupidest thing I ever seen.
I mean, everybody's going to get, like I said, nobody has pads on. Nobody has, these defenses are just throw together defenses. It's basically line up on the guy that you got, or if, you know, they want to call a zone play or something like that for the defense. It's just getting people comfortable, getting warmed up, getting muscles used, getting some familiarity between the wide receiver and a quarterback. Same thing with the middle linebacker calling all the plays, make sure the defense is in line. Those are things that are just going to happen. So I don't really count that. It's cool to see people. Oh yeah, because everybody's cheering Jamo. Like I said, I want to see Jamo do that in real time. Jamo could do that in real time. I'm all for it. The hype. I just don't hype people up.
At what point?
Do they think?
At what point is it not hype? He ran an end around in for a touchdown in the NFC.
Well, that was San Francisco.
Championship.
I mean, that was real time football. But what I want to do when he also last year also was Josh Reynolds, and now he has to take over that number 2 spot. So that means the pressure will be on him to make plays. Now he has a responsibility. He's just not a gadget receiver now. He's not just a gadget receiver. He's a receiver. So see how he works with that.
Okay.
Him being a number 2 receiver is just gonna, bring out more flashes and, make him trust his rhythm in game and even, in practice. It's gonna make his rhythm go up and more and more and more. The more his rhythm goes, the more on fire he'll be. So I mean, he'll be all right. He'll be just fine.
Christian Mahogany has an illness. You're talking about 2 days of camp. You're not talking about 2 weeks.
Make him trust his rhythm.
All right, is undone. I don't think he's gonna miss him, man. It's from what we've been seeing in training camp with Jamo. I think it's a business, and now Goff is our captain. This is his team, so he's got to use what he's got. And Jamo is to JB's point and these guys' point. He's put on muscle. He's taking it more serious, and he's got his dogs from Alabama there with him now. So TA, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon Ra, yeah. Tori, I hear you. I'm done. No more slander. I'm done. But I think Jamo is definitely, he hears all the chirping. I think he knows his targets went up. To you guys' point, yeah, Josh Reynolds is not there no more. So now he's got to fill those shoes, and I think he's ready. I think he, like you said, he put on more pounds of muscle, man. Didn't lose the speed one bit. So
I don't think I don't think slander on him.
I think that strength helps him carry the ball a lot better.
I'm going to say this now. If you base your fandom off of taking somebody in fantasy, then you're not a fan of the team.
Or he's trying to win that trophy this year. I think Jamo's going to do more with less targets, if that makes sense. I could see this guy having some lightning plays where it's like a bomb and him pulling away from the defense. I think we can see some of those plays, even when we play against Green Bay and Chicago.
I still say a successful season for Jamo because this is his first full season. He hasn't played a full season yet. 45 plus 750 plus yards, 5 plus touchdowns. That's not even including what he does on the ground in the trick plays.
Right.
So that'll get him over 1,000 yards because he had almost 200 yards rushing last year.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, JB. You're right. And Ben Johnson, and shout out to Ben Johnson, man. Panay Sewell wasn't. All these guys get targets, man. Like I don't. It's just fun to watch, man. It's fun to watch. They find it double reverses. They find a way to get these guys involved, man. And it's. I see it. To you guys' point, I think Josh Reynolds not being there is okay. I think we got a much better weapon in Jamo. You know what I'm saying? At least I know he's not gonna. How do I word this without sounding arrogant? I just believe in him. I don't think he's gonna drop like Josh Reynolds did last year. You know what I mean? I feel like he knows he's got a target on his back, and the kid is. I think the team feeds off him when he gets up and he's animated. I think those guys are like, oh, so, Jamo. Yeah.
All right. So Tori, I just saw your your X post. I don't want the man to fail. Don't get me wrong. I don't want any Lions players to fail. It's not what I'm saying. There's realistic. There's hype and there's realistic ability. Okay. Yeah. Everybody expects him to do certain things. I think the coaching staff expects him to do certain things. I think that the coaches expect him to do certain things. His teammates expect him to do things. But expecting and doing are two different things. That's all I'm saying. Jamo is Jamo's got the tools to do what he's got to do. And he's obviously putting in the work. So, like I said, I want to see him. He's going to be in a different spot this year. He's going to be the person that's the man. And, behind Amon, but he's going to be the go-to guy. So he's got to fit into that role. And if he's mature enough, he'll fit into that role. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying I want to see productivity. I don't want to, these little bombs that they be throwing into little practices and stuff. Okay, but I want to see him apply that to the field. That's all I'm saying. I know he can do it.
Gotta apply pressure every second, every minute, every hour. Gotta apply it. Gotta do it.
Oh, Jamo is never going to return no kicks. They don't have to use him to do that.
I expect him to catch more passes and run with escape from the cop speed. I love that. Right now, until we see better, I think Deshaun Jackson was a pro comp coming out of college, if I remember right, for Jameson Williams.
I think Jamo, coming from Alabama, I think he's already. I think his route tree. We haven't even seen all of his route tree yet.
Right.
To your point, because he's only played X amount of games, and this is his true first season. And I think with him actually putting on muscle, and now there's more jug machines out in practice after practice, and those guys are out there getting it in. And then I saw a couple of like you said, Bistrella, a couple of plays from golf where it feels like he's starting to get that timing now. He knows that speed now, and that to me is paramount because if you can take the top off a defense in one play and get your defense back out there. You know what I mean? Get those guys fired up. They just saw something like that, lightning in the bottle. I think at one point in time, we're going to see teams take their number one corner off of St. Brown and have to put it on this kid. And then guess what? That opens the doors for us with St. Brown. I think you're going to have mismatches galore. And then if that didn't work, okay, you know what? We'll put Gibbs out there. And now you have this three-headed monster who are all willing to block for each other. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's looking good, man. Shout out to
I love it.
Yeah.
And James, what ZZ Top song are you playing?
Give me all your money.
Give me all your money. It can't be. It's got legs. We don't want to hear that.
Right. Sharp dressed man. Huh?
And that's one of the things they're
got me under pressure.
This season, everybody. amazing how mature he's been this year.
Yeah, shout out to Jamo for actually, I think this offseason, he to you guys' point, I think whoever talked to him in the offseason, you could tell he put in the work, man. The guy looks shredded.
Oh yeah, just got paid today. Okay.
Yeah, the guy looks shredded. He looks he's still Jamo. He's still playful. He's still a youngster, you could tell. But he also, his arms are, you know what I mean? He's got some mass to him now. So I don't think he's gonna get discouraged trying to fight with cornerbacks. I think he's going to be a handful for opposing teams.
I agree, Rumble. I agree. He's definitely going to be a lot of trouble to deal with for opposing teams, definitely.
And that's fine if somebody keeps to themselves as a rookie and stays quiet and doesn't really get too loud all the time. Yeah, he got disappointed one time in that Minnesota game after he caught the first touch. He was wide open and it was the ball to the sticks. Remember that, Rumble?
Yeah, I remember that. He was on I believe, right hand.
He was wide open, not
right side
around him.
Yeah, I believe, right side. Yeah, towards the sideline. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I do remember that play. Yep.
There was about 50 plays last year where he was wide open, but because he was knocked off his route and the timing was wrong, they threw it into double covered, triple covered guys, which actually led to some interceptions ill thought of by Goff.
Yeah, and Goff. Yeah, to your point, Goff too. I think that timing was off. Like you said, he really didn't have significant practice time with him, the reps, and I think this year is important to get those reps, even if they are not in pads right now. I think those reps are important because as a quarterback, especially of Goff's caliber, once you get that timing, that's the end of it, man. I think it's going to be a match made in heaven, man.
And for me, that blocking job Jamo did on the David Montgomery 75-yard run, where he chipped the DN, took out a linebacker, rolls on the ground, gets back up, chips Kerwin James, and takes out the other safety so he can get a touchdown. That was bigger than the Carlton Davis block to me, because he took out a main linebacker, a main DN, and he took out Kerwin James, all in the same play, and then still had enough to take out somebody else. The David Montgomery said it looked like he was jogging when he ran past.
Yeah, shout out to Jamo, man. I mean, yeah, you saw the effort last year. And like I said, that 49ers touchdown he had was, yeah, man, that was awesome. So shout out to him. Shout out to this Lions team. Like I said, they have more jugs machines at the practice facility now, man. And shout out to Meyer. They revamped the whole thing, man. Shout out to the state of Michigan, man. The city of Detroit, man. I'm so impressed with from draft till now. It's been nothing but a positive thing. I'm juiced, man. I'm juiced. Is it September yet? Wake me up, man. I'm ready to watch some football, man.
Amen. 7 more Sundays till the regular season, people.
Just 7? Oh man, I can hold out.
7.
I can wait.
7 more Sundays. You know how excited I am for this? I am ready.
And we get to have the Rams the first game.
Ooh.
At home. I still, if anybody in the chat is going to that game, I want you to make a sign. It says Joe had her first match.
Hey, Jeremy, I gotta let you know, man. It's gonna be mud dog mentality on Sunday night. It's gonna be mud dog mentality straight from the rip. I'll let you know that.
That person needs to hold up another one that says Kelly is ratchet.
Wait, what?
Hey, While you mention that, I'm gonna be at that game. I'm gonna be there.
Oh, say word. Say word. Hey, what sign you making? I know you got to make a sign.
I ain't even. I ain't gonna make no sign, but I'll be yelling loud, screaming,
Just
and just
walk like
cheering my
Snoop
ball
Dogg in that
club on.
place.
That's what I'm gonna do, man.
You need to make that sign, Chicken Nugget. You need to make
Yeah.
that sign.
You know what?
Go
You know
Banner
what?
first.
Maybe I should say. Maybe I should make a sign that says the Detroit Lions own the LA Rams. Maybe I should say that. Maybe I
There
should
you
say
go.
they're not like us.
They not like us.
Right.
Hey, there you go. They not like us. LA
They
Rams.
not.
They
They
not like
not.
us.
You know.
Hey,
But
Well,
overall, man.
the Rams ain't gonna win that game.
Hey, overall, 7 Sundays from now, overall, we gonna whoop that you know what on Sunday night. I'm telling you, we gonna do it big.
Yeah, and to
we got 5 times
is undone.
not counting Thanksgiving, people. That tells you how big the NFL are with what they did last year.
Hey, is undone. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has 200 yards. I don't think the Rams have a chance, buddy.
You know what's crazy about this? Everybody thinks if we hold Nakua down, we should win. We couldn't hold Nakua down last time, but it didn't matter. We still won the game. We held down everybody else in that receiving game. You say what you want. Nobody else had over 70 yards. Not even a single running back had more than 40 yards. And Tyree Williams was averaging 150 yards a game coming into that. Stop the hate. We're winning that game.
Absolutely, because they're without their Hall of Famer Aaron Donald. So
Right. I mean,
I predict that O-line they eat. You know what I'm saying? They
granted, they
eat.
got Birds and Ed and Risky, but that
And
doesn't replace Aaron Donald.
the
I don't
Rams
think
just
three of
lost
those
an
players.
important person on a important secondary person on their side too. They just
Hey,
lost the secondary guy.
hey, B
for the
Strilla, I'm gonna
season.
let you know right now. Without Aaron Donald, they food. They
That's
food. That's
it,
what they
baby.
is, and we eating.
So,
Gerber, baby
so
food.
say because of the missed PI call, it wasn't PI. It actually
Stafford ain't coming for no damn revenge.
and you know what Stafford's
Stop.
going for to get more kids, his wife and his kids.
There is nothing on paper that the only thing that on paper that the Rams have that are better than the Lions right now is receivers. They got a nice little receiver core.
It didn't
And
matter.
I'd even give maybe a tie to the quarterbacks, but other than that, their offensive line ain't on our level, their defensive line ain't on our level. They don't even have a secondary on our level. They're not going to win that game, buddy.
Their
You go
head coach
there.
ain't on our level.
Why don't you go there with a Rams jersey and cheer them since you think they're going to win so much?
Okay, their head coach has a Super Bowl, but he still ain't on Dan Campbell's level.
Never
They
was.
not like us. They not like us.
Rumble, I see you, Rumble. But hey, I'm gonna let you know right now. Like we got that chance. Like you could feel that atmosphere, bro. You could feel the atmosphere right now that this is gonna be that year. This is gonna be that year that we take things all the way, man. Like everyone's buzzing about it. The team's buzzing about it. The coaching staff's buzzing about it. And I think that if we could just, take it one day at a time, bro, and just keep going, we got it. Last year we came up short, but that's nothing. 0-0 now. Let's bring that mud dog mentality, like I said, and kick butt. That's what we got to do right off the rip.
Undone, that's cool, but I can name all the offensive linemen that are standing boys up too. A lot of those guys right there are young. They ain't coming through that line. They ain't coming through that line like that. They're gonna have to do stunts. They're gonna have to do blitzes. They ain't coming through that line, bro.
Why does everybody call St. Brown a slot receiver? He never lines up at just the slot. He lines up at the X, he lines up at the Y, he lines up at the Z, and he performs. He's just a great wide receiver.
Right.
Guess is what time it is. It's FTP.
Fudge the
FTP,
Packers.
put it in the chat.
Fudge the Packers.
You know it. But again, I have to give homage to my other sponsor, which is Random Tire Service here in Flint, Michigan. Flint, where the water's shit, but the tires are good. Okay, at South Grand Track and West Atherton Road, 602 West Atherton Road. Used tires starting at $40. New tires, please call to get your quote 810-830. Talk to George Redder myself.
Yep, is undone. Yep, he got beat for a sack. That's probably one of 5 throughout the entire year.
In his career.
Right.
In his career, Sewell's only given up 5 sacks.
I think Stafford's got a lot more to worry about because this team wants to eradicate his memory from the city. And they've been doing it so far, man. I predict a couple of picks. I don't think Stafford sees the fourth quarter. I think he's done by the third. I think we're going to go up huge, and that's just because this team knows how important this game is to the city and to the rest of the league. You know what I mean? That could potentially be another playoff game that we end up we might end up running into those guys again. So we need to get that tiebreaker. We need to go ahead and win. First game of the year. Go ahead and set the precedent. Go ahead and set the tone. Yeah. And Kelly Stafford. You know what?
Actually, it wasn't just there. I knew. Okay. So it took 2 guys to take on Penei Sewell. Don't give it to one guy. All right, because he got a half sack on it. Kobe Turner was the other guy that got a half sack on it. No, because I don't like people blaspheming Sewell. All right, it takes 2 guys to get him through him. So that's what happened. Kobe Turner and Michael Hoyt or whatever his damn name is, they both got a half sack on that. So no, it wasn't one guy going by him; it was 2 guys going by him. They had to take 2 players to knock out Sewell. So whatever, man.
I figured it
Stop
out.
blasphemy.
No more echo.
MTV.
What was it? Jay? Look at Smoking
like
Jay.
Having 3 minutes left in the end of the show to find out.
Smoking Jay is a technician, guys. Audio technician.
I had to
Made
go
of many
look.
hats.
There was another window open up behind this one. I had to put it down.
You sound a whole lot better now, man.
Hey, don't we all? Only took me the whole show, damn it. But it's that
man.
this way. You know, what I got to say is, as bad as everyone's saying this happened and that happened, we still had the second best O-line in the league last year. Eagles were number 1. Lions were number 2. Chiefs were number 3. In that order. Yeah. And you know what? Yeah. Jason Kelsey retired. They immediately moved the Eagles O-line to 7th.
I would have moved him to 10. You got to show me something.
No, they just moved them down to 7th and moved the Ravens up 1 to 6.
Hey.
That's what they did. They moved everybody else up. So right now, we're the number 1 O-line. Chiefs is number 2. Dallas, for some reason, is still in the top 10, and I don't get it because they lost people, important people.
Because they're Dallas. They got to be ranked in something.
My thoughts on Dallas? Thumbs down.
Yeah.
I hope every receiver on the team gets a touchdown week 1.
Yeah, I see that.
Whoever's active, they just get a touchdown.
I see one of our O-linemen getting that touchdown too, man. I think Ben Johnson throws a book.
One of the 2.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's hard to not measure Super Bowl trophies to greatness, but I think Ben Johnson has a slight edge over Sean McVay. If I'm being honest, I think he has a slight edge over Sean McVay. At no point in time I've ever seen Sean McVay write up a play for right tackle for a first down. At no point in time I've ever seen him write up a play for an O lineman to get a score. I think what Ben Johnson is doing is if you don't have some of those wrinkles in your play calling and in your playbook, you're not going to be in the NFL, man. It's getting to that point now where it's like there's a slim margin of where these teams are, and you got to be highly creative.
And didn't they also lose some old linemen and had to sign some people for the Rams too? And they struggled against Hutch.
Well, they got one of our guys.
Yeah, they got Jonah Jackson. When does he get a hangnail and miss half a season again?
Oh man, we're finna blow his ass up, man. They finna blow his ass up, bro. Pause. They finna, but they go. Hey, he thought practice was tough here. Wait till game speed. Oh, they really want to. Man, that's the thing about this team, man. It's one of those things. And if we see Philly, and what's his name's got a guard Amon Ra or one of our receivers, he's gonna get the business too, man. Mark my word.
But
not just Slay, but the other guy.
Steady Goose.
Yeah, Scully,
the
man.
dummy we had last year.
Yeah.
He do.
Yeah.
DJ.
He gonna get the business. He might get a borderline blindside block.
I can tell you what they're gonna do. They're gonna bait that dude into talking stuff, and he's gonna get a penalty. It's gonna screw Philadelphia.
It's gonna be ugly, bro.
Jonah Jackson, when we did in the pit drills last year, he struggled against Hutch, who's half his size.
Who's that?
Jonah Jackson.
I don't like how you said that, JB. He's half the man that Jonah Jackson was.
I'm saying, Jonah Jackson's almost 330. He's like,
you're right.
Hutch was like 6'7", and Hutch is like 6'5" and 2. He was 255 his rookie year and was cool.
Yeah, he was. Yeah. Hey, you got that dog in you.
With Hutch, because Hutch does have that dog. Remember his rookie year, he had that dog. Yeah, he disappeared. All the guys that was getting pressure on the opposite side of him disappeared at the same time too after Comiskey got hurt.
This is true.
He didn't get any sacks until Comiskey entered the lineup again. And everybody's like, "What's wrong with Hutch?" Nobody was there to help him. We had the same problem last year. We had that 5-game lull where Hutch really was getting pressure but no sacks. It was the same thing. He was the only one getting back there. And the only reason why McNeil had 3 of his sacks, and somebody's not giving that person the credit for it, was Broderick Martin taking on double teams because Benito Jones couldn't take a double team on it to save his ass.
He couldn't take a deuce. He couldn't do none of that last year. I don't know what the hell. For as big as he was, man, I don't know.
I think Benito Jones was MIA that entire year.
Yeah, I agree.
Bubble recovery on special teams. That's one of his example plays. He had one sack because Oline took on a double team.
That was a gimme.
And that was a gimme because it was one of the few coverage sacks we ever had because it took him almost 8 seconds to get there. And then Jones made a couple stops in the run game because he was big enough that he was able to throw his hip and hip check somebody.
Well, this ought to be interesting. Undone brings up a good point, though. I wonder if Blake Corum's going to play in that game. I imagine they would put him in there just because he's at home.
You know, all we can do is pray because we heard Reader may be ready by week 1 or week 2. I want him in week 1. I want him there week 1 because if he's taking on the left guard and the center, Aleem's running through that right guard.
Great.
And then when they double Aleem to stop him from getting back there and killing Stafford, they're going to have to stop Reader because he gets pressure when he's left in one-on-one situation. That alone is going to make Hutch better on the outside because you can't just sit there and go, "Oh, let's double Hutch." And if any one of these guys with the elite bend that they're talking about shows up and does well, Houston, Betts, Davenport, any one of those 3 start getting past the tackle on the other side, Matthew Stafford's screwed. He might break his back before the end of the game.
Yeah, and to your point, remember last year against the Broncos, we had the safeties coming in 15 yards away, coming in and drilling Russell Wilson. So you don't know where the pressure is going to come from. And to your point, if we do have all those starters healthy, they're all going to have to be accounted for. At some point, one or two of those guys are going to demand a double team. And if you could bring that slot corner in to drill Stafford, I'm all for it, man. I'm sick of hearing about. I'm sick of hearing his name. I'm so sick of hearing he's gone. He's over. He's a Ram.
Right.
So
yeah, he's a Ram. He's the enemy. We should be plotting against him, not saying, "Oh, Stafford's going to carve us up."
right, exactly. Yeah.
There's no chance in hell.
And here's what Wingo has to do to develop and actually be able to move outside and do what he has to do. Number one, he has to fix his lateral agility footwork. Number two, he has to develop more than a bull rush. That's all
he's got to get his hands.
And he's got to get that hand pop going.
Yep.
He does not have a good hand pop. He does have good bend. And for a D tackle, his lateral agility is fine, which is why he did well at LSU. They played him almost exclusively at D tackle because when they put him out at DN, he was a liability in the run game and he failed to get pressure. So if he's doing that in college, don't expect that in his rookie season because he has to develop that. It's a project player. That's why he was drafted in the 6th round.
Hey, we love the projects up in Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, anything after the regular round or the 3rd round is projects the rest of the way. And
Yes,
some of
sir.
the projects get to start their rookie year, a.k.a. Malcolm Rodriguez, because no one else wanted to step up that year with what Kelvin Shepard was having the linebackers do. And yes,
And he called him out, too.
Once he got hurt, Derek Barnes stepped in and did well. And that's why Malcolm didn't get the starting job back, because Derek Barnes was playing well. And we all saw it in week 18 when he stood up Quadzilla that year.
Right. Facts. But
So,
Derek Barnes overall did good, though. The whole entire season.
not last year. He lost
Not
that
against
starting
Dallas.
job. He lost that starting job to Jack Campbell. Jack Campbell came out for a play because he was gassed. And he made the biggest whip on a sack I ever seen on Dak Prescott, which equaled a 19 touchdown pass.
I hate that play. Why you bringing up old shit, JB?
Well, it was brought up that he did well. Right there was where I was out on the Derek Barnes as a middle linebacker. Where he needs to be playing is where he played.
And then he miraculously saves the Tampa Bay game with the interception. How about that?
That was dope. That was dope.
Never played coverage at Perdome. And yes,
but
I call it Perdome.
Hey, that Dallas game. That Dallas game was horrible.
I know.
Horrible.
Chicken Nugget King, you bringing up old wounds, man.
Yeah,
I'm at the drink now.
That is undone. Is finally back where he needed to be, like his senior year of college when they moved him from DN. They made him the Sam linebacker, where he was the most successful pass rusher on that team. Barnes, Betts, and Houston will get cut. I don't see Betts getting cut at all. I don't know where you see that. I think the cuts that I'm hearing, because I've heard
those 3 aren't going to get cut.
Not all of them. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. The only one that might is if Houston keeps getting owned in these O-line drills. When he gets owned by a 4th round pick that's a project and considered raw, that's a problem.
Well, first of all, again, no pads. Let's chill on that. Tomorrow is the first day of actually getting pad work done. Let's do this. I'm seeing all that. Like I said, nobody's got pads on. You play at a whole different level when you have pads on. So I'm not writing him off. Out of those 3 that I see there, Barnes would be the one that would get cut. But I don't think they have no intention of cutting any of those guys at all.
Plus, because Barnes is making the biggest joke of the night. The best part of the Dallas is truly impartial officiating. It was as solid as the Secret Service.
James Burgess, that was through the roof, James Burgess. That was
through the roof, man.
That was pretty out code if you understand Dallas's Secret Service things going on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Rest in peace, Kennedy.
Will make the 53 while Houston gets cut. You know, if Houston still has to get healthy, you know what I mean? He's not 100%. That ankle was a high ankle sprain. He had his ankle taped up, goes back out on special teams, and that's when he broke that little bone in the middle of the ankle. And I know for a fact because my sister had that done. Now, she's not an athlete, but it's still bothering her now, and she's 52 years old.
Yeah,
So
I think to you guys' point, Barnes is one of those guys who, remember, he was playing D line at one point, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So now
he
they
was
got him back there floating.
Thanks to age, yeah, AG calling all kinds of silly ass
Right.
defensive plays.
So
Yeah,
again, whatever versatility you have, if you can play more than one position, I don't think you have to worry about. I don't think you have to worry about as much getting cut as some of these other guys who are just. And to you guys' point, I think the real conversation should be. I'm going to ask the whole panel this: who do you guys see as far as linebackers? Who do you guys see in making the cut, and why?
well, so far they've been giving Jack Campbell the green dot in camp, and they've been saying he's been more of a vocal leader on defense this year. I think he's going to end up being the Mike, and we'll see Anzalone at the will. And I'm all for it because if you
Right.
take the pressure of having to call the defenses off of Anzalone, the way he's focused and got better since his first year here, the sky's the limit for what Anzalone could do if he doesn't have that pressure on him. And Jack
I
Campbell,
think the voices, yeah. I think Anzalone gets too much communication in that. You know what I mean? Too much hair in the way.
yeah, I
But
mean,
so you guys,
locks.
right? Do you guys think Malcolm goes back to linebacker, or do they put him back on the D line, or what do you guys think? Does he stay at special teams?
Malcolm will be rotational and the occasional fullback again. That's what'll happen with Malcolm Rodriguez.
it depends on what happens between him and Maven. I think Maven's going to show his butt. I do. I think he's going to be one of those finalist linebackers.
But Maven has came in and done well when he's relieved people in that. I think we're going to carry the same five as last year. It'll be Anzalone, Campbell, Barnes, Malcolm, and JRM, and maybe DaRon Gilbert as a reserve. And we might carry six, but we run a 4-2-5 predominantly. Occasionally we'll run a 3-4. Occasionally we'll run a 4-3. It just because your base defense is this doesn't mean that's the only package you have. Don't forget,
Well, it's kind of funny.
dime.
On their rosters, they have Marcus Davenport and Houston as linebackers on here.
There you go.
Yeah, I know. I saw
There you
that.
go. Versatility, baby.
And don't forget Ben Neerman.
Yep,
He's a stop.
guy that we got from Arizona's practice squad, right?
He's solid. Yep, he's solid.
He's
Yep.
a solid special teamer too. But if DaRon Gilbert keeps excelling at third team, you know what'll happen? He'll start getting second team snaps.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they do this, to see how they do, to let the cream rise to the top. And if he starts doing good about the second team, then they're going to question who else is on that second team, who's got to go and become a practice squad guy. That those things happen every year. Look at Rodriguez's rookie year. Nobody thought he was losing that starter job. We drafted Jack Campbell, and we thought, oh, he'll be depth.
Yeah, yeah. And to your point, they're quick to take guys back to the practice squad until they figure it out. Whether it be a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And then, like you said, they'll miraculously be back in the lineup. But yeah, man, hey.
And if Houston is not 100% once the pad goes on and they start doing the full first and second and third string teams, if it looks like he's struggling because of that ankle injury still, he'll end up on that NFI list because it didn't happen in this camp.
Right.
And that'll protect him from being able to be poached off the practice squad, just like they did his rookie year.
Yeah, but we don't want consistency as injury.
No, we don't want that either. But I'm just saying, if that's what they have to do to get him healthy so he can give 100%, I'm all for it. Because that means later on in the year when other injuries happen, because they do happen. It doesn't matter how much we don't want it to happen, injuries happen. And what kind of depth is that if you can bring a guy like Houston in because somebody, well, let's say it, Mr. Glass there, the guy that's played 6 games in 2 years, 16 and 4, Marcus Davenport's on this roster.
Well, what I'm saying is availability is the best ability. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not, I mean, yeah, injuries happen, but the consistency of injuries happen to one player all the time is a whole different thing.
I understand.
So I'm just saying.
All I'm saying is if he's not 100%, that's how I'd protect him.
I mean, if the Lions, if the head coach and staff is showing promise in people, obviously they're showing promise in Mosley because he's been injured 2 years in a row and they still sign him. So,
I mean,
that kind of,
I seriously think if it had been the same leg again, he wouldn't have been re-signed. But the fact it was a different leg is why they let
Imagine
him.
that.
wonder how much
Chicken
this is going to
nugget.
slow him down.
Chicken Nugget, you've been quiet. We need your input here.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with the panel on the linebackers. I absolutely do. Yeah, I see it the same way. I don't see it any differently. I think that it's good that we can keep 6, so that way Gilbert can be a reserve, just like Jeremy B said. And then obviously when you have Jack Campbell out there with the starting lineup group, it makes everything easy. So I think that I'm fine with what we have, just like you guys are fine with what we have. I don't think we have to change a thing, unless it's like emergency.
And lo and behold, I do have a note about a UDFA from last year that got poached after we brought him up to the active and then put him back on the practice squad because you can't protect him the week you put him on, and he was poached right there. That was Arizona Cardinal taking Trevor Nowaski. Trevor Nowaski is looking like he's taking that starting defensive end job over the rookie they drafted. And that's Darius Robinson, people.
Okay, good for him. I'm glad we were able to give him the reps to prove his worth. Good for him.
I mean, granted, he only got to play in, 2 games when he was called up, and granted, it was only like 5 snaps, but one was pretty impactful. Was pretty impactful because if you remember, he batted a ball away from a tight end that stopped a 3rd down conversion.
That's what's up, man. That's what it's all about. That shows confidence on every tier of this team, man. Like they coach you up, you go out and get picked up and potentially start, man. That's changing a lot of players' lives, man.
That's also a testament to the depth that we have too.
Yeah.
I mean, we got depth. We got players that probably could be first stringers on some teams right now. So,
Trevor the Terror. I'm calling it now. Trevor the Terror.
Yeah, he
was. Honestly,
I didn't want to see him go. When I heard he got put back on the practice squad, I was like, no. 2 hours later, Arizona Cardinals picked up.
Yeah.
Kind of like this year. Everybody.
Oh, we get to play him.
Yeah, we get to play him.
Hey, Trevor, you owe us. Remember that, man.
That's right.
Hey, Rumble. I'm gonna let you know this, man. When it's your moment, it's your moment. Stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, especially out there on that field.
Look at what James Burgess said there. Yeah, my cousin in Gilbert, Arizona. They love Trevor.
That's very true, Chicken Nugget King. Yeah, and they too are a dome team. So I mean, it's like all he did was change states, but they play in a dome too, man. We know that field out there is very one of the best fields in NFL still. You know what I mean?
Well, it's an open air stadium too. It's got a retractable roof, and they play on real grass. So I mean, it's an indoor-outdoor stadium depending on the weather outside.
That's true.
He has to love it. He can wear his college gear there because SVSU's mascot is the Cardinals as well.
That is true. That is true.
I did not know that.
So he went from the Lions to the Cardinals, from the Cardinals,
So I guess our GM isn't the only one doing his job.
Right. Exactly.
As pointed out by James Burgess. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Credit where it's due. It's one of the reasons why I said their defense is sneaky good. They might be one of those middling around 500 teams that get a backdoor into the playoffs. Because we all say how good our North Division is. The West Division isn't that far behind it if you think about it. You just got a lot of coaching changes that happened over there. A new defensive coordinator as well in San Francisco. But by that time, all those kinks will be worked out when we face them in the 17th week. But at the same time, wasn't there some coordinator changes there with the Rams as well?
I believe so.
I don't know.
I
I
think
think the Rams and I think
losing
the
your
only
OC isn't that big a deal, but the
San
guys
Francisco changed their coordinator. Their defensive coordinator. I don't know what the Rams did.
the Rams
Seattle changed their whole
coordinator now
coaching
is going to
staff
be coaching
practically.
with Dave Canales as offensive coordinator of the Panthers.
And Arizona
Wow.
changed Arizona changed, but I think they changed both their offense and their defensive coordinator. I think they kept the coach, but they changed offensive and defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And that's a difference right now because the NFC North really hasn't made any changes at head coach position. There's been maybe a switch around a couple of offense. Well, the Chicago Bears got a different defensive line or defensive coach, and
And
they got a an offensive coach. So so it's going to take time for them to adjust too. But like I said, I don't know. I just don't see Seattle's not going to be that strong this year. I don't see it happening. Arizona's not going to be that good. I think the Rams in San Francisco are going to be. It's going to be like Green Bay and Detroit, fighting for first place. That's how I see it.
I think the Rams.
Being neck to neck, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
the
'cause
Rams are gonna. They're gonna get exposed this year, man. I hate to say it. I think the Rams, because last year's game against us, because mind you, teams we used to face and teams like that we used to get our head caved in. But now other teams are like, oh well, if they can beat them, we can beat them. And I think
Right.
they're gonna get a lot of teams are gonna give them their hardest punch because they'd be like, well, if we split the Rams and Lions, you know what I mean? I think we can get in because I think, like to you guys' point, I think we're the top two teams in the NFC. I don't until somebody proves me otherwise. I think we're top two. You know, obviously San Fran, we haven't beat them enough yet we beat them a half, but I think we're top two teams. You know what I
We
mean?
beat them in the wrong half.
Yeah,
Hands down, we're like up there. We're definitely top two. Hands down up there.
yeah.
And as for like San Fran, I think they screwed up firing Steve Wilkes. I think they screwed up, hands down, screwed up with that one. I don't think that was his
Hey.
fault.
You remember what I said after that Super Bowl when we talked to their Rumble? It's Kyle
Yep.
Shanahan. He threw
Yeah,
his
it's egos.
coordinator
It's
up
egos.
the bus, off the bus, but it was a pick six that was the difference in that game because they stopped running the ball for an entire quarter,
This is
tried
true.
to run it in the fourth quarter, and Brock Purdy threw a pick six.
Right. Yeah.
There's only one
This is true.
quarterback with 7 years experience in the NFL without a pick six, and he used to torch the Lions every time for Chicago. It's Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah, Mitch. Would you say Bitrisky? Bitch.
Trumbunski. I call him Trumbunski.
Trubisky.
Trubisky.
Okay.
Trumbunski.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think the Rams are. I think Sean McVay is going to get exposed this year because of that reason. Why? I think that Stafford's on a decline. I just think you guys said it earlier, that O-line, they really haven't invested in the O-line. They're hoping that, like, now people know how Nakua, they know him now. So now they're going to be like, oh, I got him. They realize how much of a, he can change a game. But yeah, they're looking very one-dimensional. Gone are those days where you can just let a quarterback throw it 70 times and not expect to get.
They have a good run game too. Now, come on, now they got a good run game.
That coordinator had a lot to do with the run game. That's what I was getting at. He went to the Panthers. He's going to be coaching Jonathan Brooks, the rookie out of Texas, and Tuba Hubbard now.
Tuba.
Oh, the offensive coordinator from the Rams?
Yep. He's the offensive coordinator. He was the.
I don't care about that. He got his name just working under McVay. McVay is the offensive genius. I'm not. Those kind of switches don't bother me. Like I said, as long as you got the offensive coordinator being the head coach, you're fine. That's all they needed. Like I said, it's like a Matt Patricia type of thing. Bill Belichick ran that defense. You know damn well he ran that defense. And Matt Patricia, it wasn't good for nothing but holding his clipboard,
Look what he did for Philly last year. It was amazing.
Nothing. Yeah.
It was horrible.
Damn thing.
Horrible.
Made him worse. They were already in a bad spot. He just made them worse. I was
Hey,
like,
in
wow.
the words of Charles Barkley, terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, it was. He
Put
got
it this
exposed,
way.
man.
When Darius Slay was here with Matt Patricia, he was our only shining star on defense at the time. Remember that?
Well, remember though, he wasn't. He was already here when Matt Patricia got here, though.
Right.
He already made a name for himself.
But
so.
I'm just saying he was the only shining star on that defense after everybody kept leaving.
Well, him
And
and
then he decided he wanted
what's
out
his face?
and got traded away. And he goes to Philly and goes, "Oh, thank God, I'm away from Fat Matt." Lo and behold,
Oh, yep,
they
sure.
they hire him as a defensive assistant. They fire the defensive coordinator and make him the defensive coordinator. You want to know how I know the first game it was Fat Matt calling it? One defensive lineman on a run play.
Wasn't that the first game? The first game he was defensive coordinator was against San Francisco, and San Francisco whooped ass.
Yeah,
Oh man.
he put one defensive line out there. Oh, this is a passing situation on 3rd and long, and
Dummies.
Christian McCaffrey ran a 60-yarder because they were sitting in prevent.
That's
That
why
was a straight embarrassment.
And this is the difference I say with the Lions. Okay, Philadelphia played San Francisco in Philadelphia and got their asses handed to them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
This is how I knew the Lions were a way better team than all of the teams in the NFC, maybe except for San Francisco, because they went to San Francisco and owned San Francisco for a half, and then he self-destructed in the second half. But they still only lost by 3 points. Think about that. They still only lost by 3 points. A bad late 4th down decision by Danny Campbell. Kick the damn ball. Will you just tie the game up? Start all over again, please.
Well,
The first one I can get over. That was fine. But the second one, dude, you're just playing for pride now. You got to win this game to get in the Super Bowl. Don't do that dumb stuff no
and the
more.
bad
Dan
part
was-
is,
I think he learned.
the second pass was the better pass for Josh Reynolds to catch.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
and that's
actually,
why he's not here.
Actually, the first pass was good too. He just didn't catch it. Like I said, when he got out the first 4th down, Goff got out the pocket and moved very well and threw a perfect pass right to Josh. Yeah, Josh had to dive for it, but that was the whole point of the play.
Right.
So
He was past the sticks. I get
he
it.
just couldn't.
But the second one, he was wide open. It hit him right in the hands.
Yeah, whatever.
And then he catches the catch to set up Jamo for the back of the end zone
He
at
is no
the end of
longer
the
here.
game.
Yes, he is
That's
no
why
longer
he's
here.
no longer here. When you got
He is no longer here.
when you
Yep.
got
Right.
channel your inner Ebron in the biggest game of the year.
I mean, you got to look at it. It was a bunch of bad things that happened to the Lions that usually didn't happen to them, like Gibbs fumbling the ball. Usually a sure hand carrier fumbled the ball. Amon dropped a couple balls. Now you never see that too much from Amon.
Jameer Gibbs was a rookie, not a
well,
10-year vet.
That's fine. That's fine. But when was the last time you saw him fumble the ball?
That's a rookie mistake. What is that with Josh?
Well, what is it with Amon not catching the ball? See, it was just a whole bunch of bad stuff that happened at the same time. Hutch in that half got bulldozed by Kittle. I was very disappointed in Hutch in that part. I was like, dude, do not ever get bulldozed by a tight end. Please do not let that happen again. Punch him in the mouth if you got to. I don't care if you get a flag. Don't let him run sack you like that. You can't let tight end.
In all
do that.
actuality, CJGJ in 2 important games to us. One was a revenge game versus Seattle. Took a horrible penalty on a
Another
stop.
late penalty. Yep.
Remember that on Kenneth Walker, the one where he tore his pec and missed most of the season after he did it?
Oh,
Kenneth Walker goes to get up after he stopped 4 yards behind the line on 3rd down. He goes to get up and he just goes, boom. All of a sudden he goes, boom.
Yep.
He hurt his titty. As the Orlando would call it.
Dumb penalty against San Fran too, man. Like,
Right. The one against Debo, which put him in
And
great
this is
field position.
after
over.
DC told him, do not go out there and do that.
That's
He
why
made
his
the
ass
world
under.
know that. He told him that. And he
Right.
still went out there and did that. I was like, you know
Said-
what, man?
It was a blindside hit. Debo wasn't even anywhere in the play. He's just trotting across the field watching things going on.
Dumbass.
CJ comes up and weakly hits them. If you're going to hit them and take the penalty, take them out of the game.
I think
Right.
that's kind of why AG. I think DC was so mad at him for that. I think that's why AG changed up the defense in the second half as far as the back end. Because a lot of those plays, they weren't giving up in the first half, but in the second half
Right.
they were giving everything up. So
God.
I'm thinking that's the reason why they did that, because DC got pissed off again. Dan,
Allegedly.
let's put our emotions to the side a little bit and think football. Get that grit on. There's a couple plays in there. There's a couple things in there. I was like, dude, come on now. I love you, man, but you got to cut that stuff out, man. Kick that field goal. Stop letting AG run these stupid defensive plays. I was like, AG's out there trying to run zone coverage like it was, at the end of the game, kind of when you're up by 3 touchdowns. No, dude. Mm-mm.
Prevent D? Yeah, I know, man.
Prevent D. I was like, dude. And they didn't give no help to Sutton in the second half.
You got to be
They
aggressive,
were giving him
man.
help in the first.
Right. Got to be
I was like,
aggressive.
okay.
And the other thing is, say what you want. Their first drive, they drive down and get a field goal. We're still up by 2 touchdowns, people.
Right.
They kick the ball off. We run it first play with Jahmyr Gibbs on a bad transfer because he never got that ball under control. It was a bad transfer. And the defensive lineman saw it and said, "Ooh, that's mine."
Yeah.
And that's
Right.
exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Then
that was the second.
we just-
That was on the second. That's when we were up by 14. That's when we had the 4th down fail on us. Then the next drive, they went down there and scored, and then we were down by a touchdown. I mean, we were up by a touchdown, and then Jahmyr fumbled the ball.
Either
So-
way, still, it was a horrible look to never run the ball the next 2 drives after that.
Yeah, I don't know why they got away from that.
We stopped.
Yeah, that game. And that game was such a fucking like tough game for me to watch because I was at the watch party. I was there. I literally saw everybody had the same kind of emotion as me, pissed off, speechless, and just was ready to go home because that shit was just like not a good look for us that game.
I was sitting there
I know-
watching.
I know though, but you can't.
Oh my God! It's halftime.
You can't take away
Going to the-
at halftime, right? You can't take away at halftime. People are like this.
Oh,
man.
and
going to the
I was
Super
happy at
Bowl.
halftime. Oh, I was excited. I was
I'm
happy
pretty
at
sure
halftime for sure. But
I'm pretty sure
second
I'm a
half-
meme. Yeah.
Second half, I said, no, I can't believe we did this shit. We dropped the ball, took our foot off the gas, and lost. Like, I was like, damn.
the worst, luckiest bounce I've ever seen off of a 1/2 inch wide of Kevlar coated metal in my entire life. There,
Mhm.
you can throw that ball 300,000 times and maybe once it'll bounce exactly like it did to Brandon Ayuk.
Bruh, I still think there was a remote control involved there. You know what they could do with drones nowadays? I still think maybe, I don't know. I'm just bitter, man. Like you
They
said,
had
that was
Mega
one of
Mine
the
there and
most,
just willed it to
Atrocious second halves I've ever seen.
bruh, that was some Bill Nye bouncing. Like, that was
Right.
like 1 in 200 billion.
if
Like,
you drop
it took all the
football
speed off and then dropped perfectly while he was
into
in
his
stride.
hand.
Like,
Like you know what I titled the football. I said the first half was the new Lions, and the second half was the same.
Oh, don't even go there.
Yeah, that's real. That you know what?
But it is the bounces, the fumbles, the drop passes. Those are all typical Lions stuff that happens to them.
Like
Oh,
it
man.
really was. It really was. But B. Striller, you took me back to the Kendall Vildor moment. Like I was extremely pissed with that. I'm as you can see right now. I'm having flashbacks about it right now as we speak.
yeah, I'm
I'm
starting to
thinking-
perspire a little more.
I'm going to give him credit for one
Sure.
thing. He was in position. He was trying to make a football play. It was
His face was.
unfortunate. It's unfortunate his face mask decided to help the 49ers. That's
His
what
face was in great position.
Yeah.
between his
I
hands.
mean, really, to tell you the truth, that was just a bounce of chance.
Yeah. It
I
was
mean-
exactly like this. Just
I mean,
like right there.
Ayuk did a very good thing by being there at the right time, and he was aware of what was going on, and that's how he got the ball and ran in for a touchdown. You got to look at all sides of that play. I mean,
And he had a visor on, bro. You talk about a
yeah,
money shot. You talk about a money shot.
Use your hands, not your face, buddy. Hands, not face.
He had a visor on. Whatever.
You know what the saddest thing this offseason was? When we signed him back.
No, I'm
signed him back. He
I'm
was
okay
still
for
a
that.
good receiver. I mean, a good corner.
He was better than
he was better
guy.
than
Sutton, the other guy,
Gary Jacobs.
Harris, Jacobs, all of them.
Yeah, Jacobs, all of them. Yeah,
all of them, bro.
Hey, kudos to Isaiah Buggs for one thing. He gave Will Harris his first career interception.
You said Isaiah Buggs?
Yeah.
Yep.
Isaiah Buggs for one thing last year. When he passed that ball up in the air against the Bucs and it fell right into Will Harris's hands, I was like, Will Harris with an interception? You got to be freaking kidding me.
Shout out to the Chiefs for picking him up too.
Well, they released him.
Yeah, as they should.
This year, but he got his.
He's been sentenced to
he's
so
got
many
some
months
months
hard labor for that animal cruelty thing.
He's got some months, man. He didn't learn shit from Mike Vick, man. When these fools gonna learn, man?
Hard leg, Vito.
Vito.
That is
awesome.
Yeah, but Bistrilla, my reaction to like Kendall Vildor coming back to our team, I literally threw my hat at the wall. Literally, I threw my hat at the wall when I heard him sign back to our team.
But we shouldn't be upset that we hear Jamo's doing well at camp. It's what we wanted to hear coming into camp this year. Whether it's in pads or not, we wanted to hear he's doing better. We wanted to hear that the chemistry is building between him and Goff. And so far, they're saying it's almost palpable. That is great to hear. Because if that continues into the 11-on-11s, it'll continue on game day. That's what I'm getting at, people. Well, let's not...
RXJ, now that's what I call music.
Detroit Fan Man. Hi, my name is Detroit Fan Man. I apologize to my neighbors after the 49ers lost for my regrettable conduct after the game. Just wanted to participate in this group therapy session.
Wooside.
I know that's right.
That being said, now that we're in training camp, we're in full mode. Do you know what I like to do every now and then on this show, Rumble? And do you know one thing I love to do?
No, I don't know. What is that?
Forward down the field, a charging team that will not yield. And when the blue and silver wave, stand into the brave. In this game, with honor you will keep your fame. Down the field and gain a Lions victory. Go Lions!
So that's okay. Okay, I wasn't ready for it. I gotta do homework.
I saw you getting into it.
I know. Yeah, no, that's great energy. That is great energy right there, man. I don't know the words. I know.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. I don't know the
I'll
words.
tell you, I really, a thing that we're not really talking about either is preseason and the games that they're playing teams. I think all the teams that they're playing are good teams for them to play. Kansas City is one of the teams they're playing. Obviously, we want to be honed in on them. Buffalo, we do see them later, and Pittsburgh's got that defense. So even with Hendon Hooker starting, because Goff ain't going to be out there, and I'm sure Amon's going to have limited practice out there as well as far as being out there. I like to see what these guys can do against those franchise.
And RXJ says Jamo will have a great year, and all we can do is hope so. Until we see it, we don't know what's happening. I want to. And James Burgess says, my last post got censored. It was about Bugs, the pet abuser, about whom I wish ill things.
James Burgess, I thought we were cool. I can go through lyrics, man. I thought we was cool, man.
Hey, I see this
I
preseason
like.
as like exhibition games.
I heard that one day, yes, Green was getting first team reps over DPJ, but if you actually look, it was the day that he was on the NFI list because he was out with the illness with 3 other cats, Carlton Davis and Meek
Oh
Robertson,
man,
and
yeah.
wasn't that Brian
Well,
Brandt the other one that day? Or yeah,
well, they were going by today too. Like I said, I was reading the training report for today that they did have Green and Wiz Khalifa. It's my guy, Wiz Khalifa out there
Just
competing
like
for that
saying
number 2.
whiz.
I like
Just
saying
like
Wiz
saying
Khalifa.
whiz.
did you hear that?
He's my
Like
guy.
saying
Moonscar
whiz.
Blade, Moonscar Blade says you should have seen me standing in front of my bathroom mirror with my toothbrush singing along.
There
As long as you weren't
you
fresh out
go.
of the shower, we're good.
I can see
So
it.
hold on. So all jokes aside, so the starters we know aren't going to play. They might play a couple of series, but what intrigues you guys about these second and third guys stepping up to the plate? Besides Hooker, we know that's our guy.
Yeah, we're going
What
to see a lot
intrigues
of him.
you about, for instance, do you think you guys think we see obviously more of Sorsdal, more of
Yeah,
Antoine Green, more of um, Gilmore to
we're
Chicken
going to
Nugget
see.
King's point? Are we
We're
going
going
to
to
see
see.
more of those
You're going
guys?
to see Terry and Arnold, and you're going to see Enos too.
Right.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
gonna see all those guys.
they're going to have to be out there. That's
They're
why I
going to
think
have
the Lions did a great job with the cornerbacks that they picked up this year, because you got to look at it. If any of those go down during preseason games or anything like that, they got something to fall on.
right.
So they need all the practice they can
And
get.
while Amik and Carlton was out, it was Terrion and Ennis playing the outside, and Mosley was playing the slot that day. And that
Mosley. Haven't heard
and
that name in
Mosley
2
didn't look
years.
bad. That's the great thing that I that's what I wanted to hear. How did he do? Because the slot guy tends to have to cut and change direction a lot more. If they'd
Right.
have said, "Oh
Right.
man, he went down clutching his knee," it was like, "Okay, he's done." You
Shit.
know what I mean? But
Right.
he actually was doing good in the slot, covering both the slot receivers and the tight ends. Because we didn't hear a lot about the tight ends or the slot receivers making plays. We heard about Amon
Exactly.
Ra. We heard about Jamo. We heard about vets versus rookies. That's what I'm getting.
So
Yep. Well, and speaking of the NFI, on the day Jamo caught that long pass, guess who wasn't out there? Carlton Davis, Amik Robinson.
Robinson.
Those are veteran corners. So
mhm.
that
But
probably play might not have happened if it was like that. I don't know.
but at the same
Anything can go.
at the same time, the other day when they showed that video of Jamo making the sideline toe drag swag catch, it was over Carlton Davis. So at the same
Don't play
time,
with Jamo.
you know,
First off, don't be saying everything proudly about JMO catching stuff over our secondary. That's not what we want to promote here, okay?
No, it
We want our
is
secondary
to a
to be
degree
strong.
because they got to
He
step
got
up.
lucky and caught some passes. Okay, there you go. That's what I'm going to
He's
say.
gonna make them better. We know this boy's got burners. He got a V8 in the legs, man. Pause.
It says Ed Mosley
Hot
after
wheels.
days came
And that's
down.
what's really, and that's another thing that's really good about not having a cut date until after preseason games altogether. Because you can see the UDFAs out there too. They're going to have everybody out there. You're going to have 98 people trying to compete, 100 people out there trying to compete for spots.
Right.
But less than that, because the starters probably won't have it, have to be out there. But you've got all these other people out there. You're going to see who's going to be the grit. And Dan Campbell's definitely going to be looking for people out there hitting, smacking, doing their job.
Let's be real. There's 44 starters on this team, and we know who they are because they've been here, and then the vets that was signed to come in. Let's leave it at that. So that leaves 9 guys for backups.
Moonscar Blade, thank you for joining us, man. FTP, faux life.
Moonscar Blade, he swapped over and started following me because I've been commenting on other people's shows too. I talked to Coach Dan on Lions Talk Live in the mornings. I talked with Rock On Podcast. I actually called into Will's show the other day, and he actually asked me some stuff, and he goes, "Wow, that's actually pretty good insight," because he's one of those guys that goes strictly by PFF and looks at things in a different way than a lot of people do, and I don't mind that. Just You need some analytical guys.
And he brushes his teeth singing forward down the field.
Yeah,
There you go.
100%. Good night.
At least I know his hygiene is good before he goes to bed. There you go.
Mosley
Yes.
played well at nickel, so which means he was at camp already, and I'm glad to hear he did well. Like I said, I wish no ill will for Mosley. As a matter of fact, I damn near cried when I saw what happened to him against Seattle that game.
Yeah.
It was brutal. 2 snaps in.
As quiet as it kept. As quiet as it kept. I believe he's going to be the most impactful secondary person this year. Somebody is going to get hurt because that's always inevitable. Cross your fingers, it's not a starter. But Moses is going to come in there and do his job, and he's going to impress. He's going to do that, I think, during the course of the regular season. Something's going to happen where he's just going to come in there and bust everybody's ass. I'm just seeing it.
Well, you know what they had Brian Branch at that nickel slot, blitzing the quarterback. I think that's gonna he's capable of doing that. And even if he just slows the QB down, man, and we get another helmet there, I mean, even if you get a hand on the ball, you're right.
What I'm saying too, though, is I like Amik Robinson for that position because Amik Robinson's just an older version of Brian Branch to me.
Right.
He gets in there and he's a dog in that spot. And it might be a fact that he might have to take over him. But if Carlton Davis goes down, hopefully that never happens. But Mosley, I think, could go right into the number one, corner and take over. I think he can.
And instead of a microphone, Moonstar puts up 3 toothbrushes, says the emoji.
Hey,
3 toothbrushes. The 3 toothbrush salute.
But at
Right.
that time of night where we've been on for almost 2 hours, I want to say thank you to my guests, Bistrilla and Lions Rumble here, Uncle Rumble. These two have their own show coming up. They're going to be debuting very shortly. Go ahead and tell us about it, boys. Whoever wants to do it.
all the smoke with that gentleman right there, Bistrilla the Thriller, man. Exciting. We just started last year, and I think this year we're going to be more open to guests and more open to. I think this year is going to be a hell of a season. I believe we're going to have so many topics to discuss with you guys. Shout out to Smokin' Jay and Chicken Nugget King. I think this right here, this is a dream team panel right here. Hey, Smokin' Jay, man. Hey, now you can add another hat to your closet because you're an audio technician now.
Yeah,
there you go.
I think we're about an hour, without any audio issues.
When I figured it out.
Yeah. So shout out to this amazing the chat for interacting with us, and I'll let Bistrilla take it from there.
All right,
Oh yeah, everything this man down here said. We're the bald-headed brothers right here. Different mothers from the bald-headed brothers. You know what I'm saying?
We're happy and we're singing and I'm not gonna say the last part.
Give us
we'll catch us. We're going to be doing a after training camp, post training camp show. We'll be doing a post preseason season show. So we have 2 shows coming up in August.
Yeah.
Just check us out. We'll have it out there on Facebook and all the social platforms to let you know when it will be happening. So we're just knocking out the details right now. Rumple's, trying to let me get his schedule together and stuff like that. So once we get that together, boys, it's nothing but the Lions.
It
Nothing
sounds like
but the Lions.
With nothing but the smoke.
Right, nothing but the smoke. Lions roar 24.
And
There you
Chicken
go.
Nugget King 586. You got something special coming up too. What is your plans with your podcasting career?
Oh, gee. I have a podcast show called the Chicken Nugget King 586 Sports Podcast Show, and that's strictly on YouTube. And if you know, go out there, subscribe to the channel, Chicken Nugget King 586. Tell a Lions fan to go there, subscribe. I'm at 227 subscribers, and a lot of Lions fans can reach me on Twitter. I am at CashJizzle2, which is still Chicken Nugget King, so I am there. And I will be at Allen Park tomorrow for Back Together Weekend. And hey, see you there.
Do me a favor, brother. Take some notes. Send it to me.
Oh yeah,
Right.
and be Strilla. Hey, I'm looking forward to that All the Smoke show, bro. I'm looking forward to that, man.
Well, thank you, sir. We will be there and try to make you proud, man.
Hey, for
And
Yeah,
sure,
man.
man. And shout out to you, Lion Rumble.
Thank you, Chicken
Good to
Nugget
be
King,
on
man.
y'all, man. It's good to be good with it's good to be on with my brothers on here tonight. So
Yeah, absolutely,
big
man.
shout out to all the commenters too, man. So we got to turn it up a level.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
hey, we get anywhere from 75 to 200 messages a show anymore. Bistrilla's been here, and congrats on getting going, Chicken Nugget. You know, it
Absolutely.
takes a lot to change what you want to do and figure out what you want to do. And I know you're a young man. You got the heart and the drive to do it.
Right.
The grit. Yes, sir.
That's the correct
Yes,
thing.
sir.
I'm just taking it one step at a time. That's all I'm doing.
I'm still working
That's all
on
you can do,
picking up
brother.
new colleges to write about because I was told by the Lions I don't have a big enough body of work for writing wise. So I'm looking
Right.
at working on SBSU, the Cardinals that we already talked about once tonight, and possibly Mott Community College, the Golden Bears, because they have been a two-time national championship for community colleges over the last 3 years. They made it there twice and won it, and was runner-up the other year. So they've got a good team that I'd like to follow. That way, I always got a home game to go to.
Hey.
Right. And thank you for the congratulations to the comment.
Yeah, that was James Burgess. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
He's
he is.
We
Big
are
shout out
all
to
very
James Burgess.
supportive of one another here in this podcaster community. I always have done this with fans and podcasters. I was doing it with Chicken Nugget before he even thought about podcasting.
Right.
First
Yeah.
started, he was like,
That's
"Can
Same
I?"
that's
with this
where we
guy.
started. We started exactly from there, from scratch.
Same with me, man.
I
It's
met
it's
I met
incredible, man.
Lions Rumble by being a guest on Micro Mike's show that night.
Yeah.
It was Friday night. I was sitting outside swatting away mosquitoes, smoking cigarettes like a chimney.
Yeah. Oh man.
And we all know
That's
why I
hilarious.
got
While
my
you
name
smoking
smoking.
B.
That is why
Yeah.
I am smoking Jeremy B. And that's why
I
my
was in a
tag
drop top
is
cruising the
smoke.
streets.
Okay, Usher.
Letting your wind blow through the whiskers. There ain't no hair. Gotta call
Yep.
it whiskers.
Right.
It
Just
has
like
been
Blue
a
and Silver
pleasure.
said, the Lions caused all you guys to lose your hair. Yep. You
No, it's all
damn
genetic.
Skippy.
It all
Yeah,
comes from
nah, why you
mother's
bring
side of the family.
blue and silver? There you go. Talking about hair. I can't talk to you, man.
And well, I'm gonna tell y'all this, man. It's one pride all day, every day. That's what it's about, man. Till we die, till
Right.
we leave. You know. Hey, that's
Yeah.
what we ready.
And before we leave, I have one more little tidbit to give you because Lions Rumble, I don't know if you were on after the draft, but I sat there in the media room and heard all those interviews and heard almost everybody. And while Terry Arnott was being picked, because it takes about 2 hours for them to get from the stage up to the media room, Caleb
Right.
Williams given his interview. At the end
Mm.
of it, the Chicago beat writer goes, "Hey, Caleb, can you give us a bear down?" He leans over with those pink fingernails holding his pink iPhone case and he goes, "Go Bears."
Yes. Go Bears.
Gummy bears. What?
We are doing it with we are doing the joint practices. We don't play Indy in the preseason, do we? Isn't
No.
it the Giants? And then we're doing
No.
it with the
No. It's
Steelers.
Buffalo. It's Buffalo, Steelers, and Kansas City.
No, it's
Those are the.
Giants, Steelers, in Kansas City.
We do have giant.
Yeah,
You do have a Giant? Oh, the
Giants, Kansas
Giants.
City,
Okay.
and Steelers.
Okay.
Yep.
And then the Pittsburgh one is at home. That's a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
2
2
straight
away and 1
games.
home.
I
Well,
will
that's what
be. I
happens when
will
you
be
got
at that
when you play
Steelers
9-year
game.
games at home.
I
That's
will
awesome.
be at that Steelers game.
Well, try every day to be a better person than you were the day before. It's the only way to make the world a better place. It starts right here. Have that grit. Do what you got to do. Because the only thing that we can control is our reactions to things outside of our control. Look at that. He's got a little swag going on right there with that hat. I see it. And you got yours on too. I got that same coach's hat somewhere. I got to get it out. Every time I wear the blue one, though, you wear the black one. We can't ever
We
get
can't be the same, JB. We can't be the same. We gotta
No,
be
we
better.
never are. We never
have a
are.
little
Hey.
We
swag.
always got our own takes, and we always got our own
Gotta
style.
coordinate. Gotta
Doing this.
coordinate.
Which
See,
which
today
all
you would have to wear the black one because you know you got a black shirt on. See, I have to wear the blue one because I got the blue shirt on. So
what you
It
wearing the
works.
same with the same blue hat, it's making y'all feel like that Spider-Man meme. Like just literally looking at each other like Spider-Man meme. If you know the Spider-Man meme, then you know what it is. You point.
Yep.
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody, and we get to see Charles Harris, even though he's not a part of the team, say hi to us again.
Whatever.
Here locally in the community, make sure y'all go check out New Cat Body by Jeremy.